Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're tuning in today because we've got a truly fascinating lab-to-shelf journey to trace. We're going to look at the evolution of scientific scalp care, and we're specifically focusing on a brand that has, frankly, completely disrupted the personal care industry. We're talking about the Dr. Groot story. Whether you're a major beauty enthusiast or an industry professional, the structured science and the sheer data behind this brand's explosive growth is just something you have to see to believe.
Okay, let's dive into this. What does it actually take to become Korea's #1 hair loss care brand? In a market that is notoriously hyper-competitive and demanding, rising to the absolute top isn't just about throwing money at good marketing. It requires a fundamental shift in how a product is formulated, tested, and delivered. Basically, it requires a completely new standard of scientific rigor.
To give you an idea of the sheer magnitude of their success, before we even get into their history, just consider this number. Over 40 million products sold worldwide. I mean, really think about what that means. That is 40 million times someone stood in a store or clicked Add to Cart, brought this product into their home, and trusted it with their personal wellness routine. Scaling to that level requires universal appeal and, honestly, undeniable results. And understanding how they got here means recognizing that this brand was definitely not an overnight viral sensation built out of thin air. It's actually the direct result of decades of deeply entrenched corporate heritage.
So, to see exactly where that heritage comes from, we have to look back. Section 1, the roots of innovation, from 1947 to today.
Well, before we jump into the timeline, let's clear something up right off the bat, because I know some of you might be wondering about the name, Dr. Groot. And no, it has absolutely nothing to do with a certain lovable walking cinematic tree. The doctor represents their unwavering commitment to clinical scientific research, and Groot, that simply stands for Grow Root, which reflects their intense specialized focus on the health of the scalp and the root of the hair itself. It's literal, it's highly scientific, and it tells you exactly what they are engineering their products to do. The foundation of that clinical research goes way back. Dr. Groot is actually a powerhouse creation from LG Household and Healthcare. They were founded all the way back in 1947, and they launched their very first shampoo in 1956. That is over half a century of researching, innovating, and completely dominating the Korean fast-moving consumer goods market. All of that institutional knowledge, all of that historical R&D, it all culminated perfectly in the 2017 introduction of Dr. Groot.
Which brings us nicely to Section 2, decoding the scalp DNA, the science of hair loss.
Now this is where we enter the era of the skinification of hair. Basically, treating our scalps with the exact same level of care, clinical analysis, and active ingredients that we use on our faces. Developed by dermatologists, pharmacists, and dedicated researchers, Dr. Groot's formulations are rooted entirely in lab research. And when I say lab research, I mean staggering amounts of data. At LGH&H's Genetic Analysis Lab, scientists didn't just guess what ingredients might work. No, they systematically analyzed over 60,000 genetic data points to truly understand the underlying mechanisms of hair loss, hair strength, and overall scalp condition. They literally mapped the problem at a genetic level.
And that massive undertaking led to a truly impressive milestone: 558 registered patents supporting the brand. Think about that. This isn't just blending a few common ingredients together in a vat. This is proprietary, groundbreaking intellectual property that completely redefines what a hair care product can clinically achieve. And finally, backing up all of those patents, we have 42 published, peer-reviewed research papers. This rapid-fire data just proves the absolute academic and scientific rigor behind the brand. They didn't just build a consumer product, they contributed heavily to the actual scientific community's understanding of trichology and dermatology. And this brilliantly illustrates how all that abstract science translates directly to your bathroom mirror. We have premium, highly specific ingredients curing universal issues, often promoting voluminous and healthier-looking hair in just 2 weeks. Biotin and niacinamide, those are targeted directly at thinning hair and breakage. A complex of 7 types of prebiotics and paraprobiotics specifically soothes scalp sensitivity and dryness. And rosemary is deployed to meticulously balance sebum production. It is targeted clinical precision.
But data and ingredients only get you so far if the actual user experience isn't there. So let's get into Section 3, premium formulas and Hollywood praise. The secret is out.
We're shifting the narrative here from those microscopic data points in a Korean lab to glamorous, real-world application. Now, what's really interesting here is the simplicity of the application. It's a 3-step scalp revitalizing solution. Step 1, the hair thickening shampoo. Step 2, the miracle in-shower treatment. And Step 3, the dedicated scalp care. It's a super accessible routine, but it has garnered incredibly high-profile attention. In fact, renowned Hollywood hairstylist Mark Townsend has publicly praised this exact routine, specifically highlighting his amazing experience with the Miracle in Shower treatment and the hair-thickening shampoo.
And honestly, when a stylist of Mark Townsend's caliber validates a product, people listen. He is trusted by massive A-list stars like Dakota Johnson, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, Aubrey Plaza, and Parker Posey. This kind of organic, high-level social proof is just invaluable. It bridges that gap between clinical efficacy and premium luxury performance. It proves that a highly scientific product can perform beautifully in the absolutely highest stakes aesthetic environments out there.
And it's not just Hollywood stylists taking notice either. The global media recognition is incredibly diverse. They've won Harper's Bazaar Awards, for sure. They're featured in Women's Health, Oprah, Daily, and the New York Post. But what's wild is that it goes way beyond traditional beauty media. They are covered by Forbes, Tech Radar, Popular Science, and even Yahoo Finance. This perfectly encapsulates Dr. Groot's unique position. They are recognized by technology, science, and financial media because their scientific foundation and market disruption are simply that significant.
Which brings us to Section 4. This unprecedented cross-industry validation perfectly sets the stage for conquering the global market, from Seoul to Sephora.
Their international expansion has been explosive, perfectly showing the real power of matching clinical efficacy with modern consumer demand. They launched in 2017 and totally dominated as #1 in Korea for years. Then, in 2024, they make a massive move, entering the US market. They immediately gain immense popularity, racking up thousands of positive reviews from American customers. This momentum carries them straight to a huge marketing event in late 2025, which ultimately cements their major 2026 milestone, a full launch in Sephora stores across North America.
So the crucial point here is, how did they build that hype for the Sephora launch? Well, they did it with the Korean Night Mart. In December 2025, Dr. Groot parked a vibrant pop-up truck right on 5th Avenue in Manhattan. They brought the electric, super fun energy of Seoul's nightlife directly to New York. It let visitors physically experience the products and generated massive social media buzz, which was completely amplified by an appearance from mega influencer Bretman Rock. It was a masterclass in experiential marketing, taking clinical science and making it feel incredibly cool and culturally relevant. But, they aren't just resting on the success of a fun pop-up. Look at what's next. Dr. Groot's future strategy is built on two main pillars. On one side, they are doubling down on microbiome technology, working to maintain scalp health and prevent thinning hair right at the cellular level. And on the other side, they are pushing hard into sustainable derma solutions. They're utilizing powerhouses like biotin and keratin to meet this massive, growing consumer demand for salon-quality, high-performance treatments that people can actually just do in their own homes.
Which leads us to our final thought for this explainer. As science brings these salon-quality microbiome treatments straight to our homes, is scalp care actually the new skincare? We've seen how Dr. Groot used 60,000 data points to elevate shampoo from a simple cleansing step into a highly specialized clinical skinification routine. The data says yes, the market says yes, and the results clearly say yes. It really makes you rethink exactly what you're reaching for in the shower, doesn't it? Thank you so much for joining me for this deep dive today. Keep learning, keep asking questions, and I will see you next time.